Welcome to Pre-Snap Podcast, presented by LineStar app. Here's your host, Casey Bubba and Scott Bogman.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Pre-Snap Podcast, brought to you by the wonderful people at LineStar Sports. Make sure you check them out on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar MLB. And more importantly, download the app in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Gives you everything you need in the palm of your hands to build your winning DFS lineups. Another big winning weekend for LineStar. I'm seeing like them tweeting out all kinds of stuff on Monday. So just week after week, these guys are winning some cash. Guys and gals are winning some cash over at LineStar.com. You can find myself on Twitter at BDintric and my co-host, as always, on Twitter at Bogman Sports. Scott Bogman, how we doing, my friend?
Well, Saturday was unbelievably depressing, but
I know you never text me back now. I thought about it right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can figure out why, right? So,
yeah, I was pumped for you early on. Didn't see that second half coming.
Wasn't great. Steelers won on Sunday though, so that was good. Had a couple good lineups. We decided? I mean, this Monday night game seemed fairly over when we got on to record this. We're watching it. There's like 6 minutes left. It's getting a little dicey for the Colts here. So we'll see what they have in store for the rest of this. But it was a pretty solid weekend. I have to say that. Cortland Sutton went off against Pittsburgh. We saw some big weeks, but then the Bloody Sunday, all the injuries. So it was ugly. And this is going to be a big fat week. Big. Very,
very big. I'm going to need it because I got some teams that need some help in a big way. So this will be an interesting week when the bidding comes a calling. But yeah, awesome week. Devontae Adams found the end zone, folks. If you didn't, we said Narrative Street would take over. Aaron Rodgers hears these things. He was targeted all day long. He was feeding
not cover
Devontae.
Him. They it
was unbelievable. Like, he absolutely feasted in that game. Zeke each week gets bigger and better at the running back position. Derrick Henry's on pace to have more carries than anybody in football right now. Mm-hmm. Like, it's insane what's going on with some of these guys. But yeah, you mentioned Bloody Sunday. The Giants were a big part of that, but there were more.
How about how many tickets were lost when John Gruden is the first head coach out and not Urban Meyer?
Yeah, there's some understand our humor when we say this first. There were some great memes out there basically saying Urban Meyer saying thank you to John Gruden for taking the spotlight off of me.
And a bunch of them that were it's like Urban Meyer handing John Gruden's emails to, all that stuff. So, yeah.
How about Urban Meyer? How about Urban Meyer real quick? His press conference on Monday saying like he didn't know the personnel.
250 rushing yards per game.
250 passing yards, but like he didn't know the personnel. I never pay attention to that. Like he had all these
I don't micromanage. Things. Right. Yeah.
Dude, what this isn't college football anymore, homeboy. Like, come on.
Right. I mean, I don't. Like you keep hearing, the more he talks, the more I go, did anybody speak to him before they hired him for this job? Or were they just like, this is the name? And that's what they did. It had to have been the name.
Tony Khan, he's running AEW and it's going through the roof right now. He's, he just thinks, I'm going to get this flashy hire. He's like, I'm bringing in the next big guy from the other organization over to us.
Surprising that wrestling and the NFL are completely different jobs for completely different people. Very strange.
Sports entertainment in different lights. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Definitely true. But let's recap the week 5 action for you. It was a doozy. As Bogman said, it was a fun one, and NFL.com just reloaded on me. It's going to be 2 seconds here. But Thursday Night Football, we know, was not that great. Not that great. We talked about that on the radio show last week, and it was the wonderful... There we go. Rams and the Seahawks. This was the ET game, as I call it. Rams win 26-17. You have to listen to the radio show to know that. Rams got the job done, but it was not pretty. Russell Wilson messed up his finger, had surgeries out 6 to 8 weeks. Chris Carson missed the game with a neck injury. Some are starting to slowly, like whispers out there that this might be worse than people think. We got that going for you. Stafford got banged up a bit. Cooper Kupp's shoulder got banged up towards the end, something to monitor. It was a rough game, Bogman. Like I said, the Rams came out on top, but it's Geno Smith time in Seattle, and that might mean top draft pick time in Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be that bad. Geno actually did okay replacing Russ. He was, 11 of 17, 10 of 17, 131 yards, touchdown. Did throw a ugly pick late. But I don't look, the Seahawks weren't that great before. And losing Russell Wilson obviously is an enormous blow. He's an MVP candidate every year he touches the field. But Geno is going to be okay. I mean, but dude, this Sunday night football game this week, like, this is why they need to start flexing early, because it's Pittsburgh versus Seattle.
Oof.
So it's not going to be the great. And I wish it was early, right? I don't want to wait all night to watch my stupid game. So, but yeah, look, it's going to be, I think Metcalf's going to be okay. Lockett is questionable. Chris Carson's already banged up, so who knows if he's coming back this week. We're hoping he is. But I mean, it could get pretty ugly pretty fast in Seattle with that defense that they have if the offense can't stay on the field.
Yeah, we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that one. But could get ugly. And as I told Bogman on the radio show, I'm in a super flex league where I have Russell Wilson, Tua, and Tyrod Taylor. So I'm pretty sure I'll be bidding on Geno Smith this week, which is where we are at in this one. And
I know you've got the baseball game on for sure, right? So
yes, I'm not paying attention to football right now.
The Ravens just blocked a field goal attempt, and now there's 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, and they're down 8, so they can come back and win here. So getting dicey down at the end. You're going to hear some live reactions, I'm sure. So
it's going to be a fun one. I might have to flick over there in a minute, but we'll go to Sunday. We'll go to London, England. The Falcons win 27-20. The Falcons did not have Calvin Ridley. They didn't have a lot of pieces. It was a beat up squad. Cordarrelle Patterson kept putting up fantasy value. Mike Davis was okay, found the end zone. It was Kyle Pitts week, which like we said, it better be, because there's no one else to throw it to. So it better be Kyle Pitts week. The Jets on the flip side, it was not pretty. Michael Carter, he looks to be kind of pulling away a little bit, Boggs, but that's about the only takeaway I have for the Jets. It was ugly overall.
I mean, the Jets are just a mess right now, and I'm sure going to London did not help out at all here. Zach Wilson just has been bad, and I expect him to throw interceptions, and we have a lot of growing pains for young quarterbacks. Doesn't necessarily mean he's not going to be a good pick and all that stuff. I mean, Peyton Manning led the NFL in interceptions his rookie year, right? So, but Zach Wilson just doesn't have it right now, which makes Corey Davis dicey. It makes Jamison Crowder dicey. And I guess this is just a stat line we're going to get from Carter: 10 rushes for 40-ish yards in the score, which I guess it's more than Saquon's going to put up this week. So there's something to say he has a role. But I just continue to be disappointed by Mike Davis. Yeah, he scored a touchdown, great, but out carried by Cordarrelle Patterson, and Patterson is just their guy. He's their everything right now. They're running back, their number one wideout, but at least we got the Kyle Pitts breakout we were waiting on. So 9 catches for 119 and a score. I think his role just expands from here. Don't think he's going to get this every week, but he's at least going to be more involved and more trusted by Matt Ryan. So we can count on him a little bit more. So fingers crossed for that.
Yeah, it's got to be, because he was still getting the snap counts and the target shares. He just wasn't having the production week in and week out. He got the production this week, so let's just hope that it keeps stringing along there, because Pitts, like, I think I saw someone tweet out on Monday today that in a PPR format, Kyle Pitts is the tight end 3 right now. So take that how you wish. It's either the position is that ugly, or
everyone not named Kelsey has been disappointing. Yeah,
even Dawson Knox is coming to life here. So watch out.
Dawson Knox and Dalton Schultz are by far your top
two waiver
ends.
wire guys in week 3.
Right.
So there you go. Sums up tight ends in a nutshell. Lions at the Vikings. I expected much more out of this game. It was quite boring. The Lions, though, man, being a Lions fan, like, you have to know you're probably not going to win many games. You're 0-5, but they keep you in so many. You have to be on cardiac arrest almost every week with these guys. Vikings win 19-17. Madison, once again, with Dalvin Cook out, just goes bananas. Literally the best handcuff in all of football, it seems, right now. He's awesome. Thielen, MIA, not around. Justin Jefferson went off. Interesting game, to say the least, for me.
Yeah, I mean, Dan Campbell crying is kind of, you feel that for every single Lions fan. It's just brutal watching this team on Sundays, man. It's got to be hard to be a fan. But I tell you what, we did get, obviously Quintez Cephas goes for most likely the year. But Amon St. Brown really stepped up here. And with Cephas down, I'm hoping that he is going to be their guy moving forward, because Hawkinson, we're just talking about tight ends. Hawkinson has been absolutely rough and brutal, so hopefully Amon St. Brown can step up there. That's what we're hoping for. On the Minnesota side, I know Dalvin Cook's really good, but also Alexander Mattison is really good, so this was the one guy we kind of said that handcuffing it's not really in vogue anymore, but after this weekend and what we've seen in the NFL so far, we might want to expand roster spots, at least if we don't move down to one running back spot instead of two moving forward. And I'm talking about across every, format, DFS, Yahoo, ESPN, all of them, because running back is such a brutal position. But Alexander Madison's going to get a gigantic contract next year and start for someone.
Yep, I'm hoping Miami opens the door. That's all I'm going to say.
I would love him
down there because he's so good, and it's one of those. It makes you think. I know they paid Dalvin Cook, and so when he's healthy, he's going to be the guy. But he's still banged up. Do they just wait a couple of weeks to get him fully healthy, or do they go, "Hey, we got a really good offense, good receiving core. Let's use these guys like 70-30, 60-40, and let's just get to the postseason." I'm really curious to see how they do it. I'm pretty sure it's Cook's deal. I know that. I get it. But man, you got a workhorse like Madison back there too, and Cook's on 100%. I'm curious to see how that plays out the rest of the year.
Why are you hoarding all the running backs? Some teams don't have any of them.
Yeah, this Twitter, it's a great place, people. Great place for quality content. It has been, if you are a believer in the zero running back draft strategy, especially in best balls, Victory Lap Central has been taking place the last 48 hours.
After week 5.
It's going nuts. All right, Saints at the Washington football team. Saints win 33-22. Heineke still looked good, surprisingly. The overall stats don't show. He looked good, though. Curtis Samuel, goodbye. You're gone. We see RSJ,
Ricky Seals-Jones.
Ricky Seals-Jones. He balls out like we said he would. But it's the Saints, man. Winston goes nuts. Marquez Callaway has his. Harris has his. Kamara with the big touchdown run. I can't count on this every week, but it was fun for this one.
Well, look, the story of is the Washington defense or New Orleans offense worse was answered this weekend. It's the Washington defense. It's terrible. They're going to be a matchup play moving forward. Can't cover anything. Can't stop anything. I mean, Jameis Winston threw for 4 touchdowns on 279 yards on 15 completions. 4 touchdowns.
Bad.
That's ridiculous. That should not be happening. It's real bad. So I'm glad to see Kamara get more involved in the passing game, but I'm not running to the wire to snap up Callaway or Harris, because Harris had 1 catch. Callaway had 8 targets and 2 touchdowns, which is great, but they have a bye this week. And then Michael Thomas and Traquan Smith eligible to come off the pup after that. So don't know if they will, but it's definitely within the realm of possibility that Marquez Callaway is the 3rd wide receiver. Deontay Harris is the 4th wide receiver the next time the Saints play. So I'm not going to go blow my fab on these guys at all.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Patriots at the Texans, and usually on Sunday mornings, I golf that at my local place, a little skins game on Sunday mornings, and we're always checking our fantasy teams and our scores, and I literally tell the guy on the green, I say, "You see the Patriots score?" And he says, "No," and it's Texans are beating them bad. I was like, what is going on here? But, of course, the Patriots come back, win 25-22. If I'm a Patriots fan, I am not happy with life right now. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Look, the whole week I said, take the over here. Take the over, take the over, take the over. 25-22. We got there, but this did not play out like I thought at all. Apparently, Davis Mills just needs 3 weeks to get himself right and turn himself into Tom Brady. 21 of 29 for 312 and 3 touchdowns. It was unbelievable. I'm not a big Chris Moore guy or Chris Conley guy, but you throw a buck on him. They said Tyrod Taylor probably not going to be back this week, maybe soon, but we'll have to see about him. I think if you're the Texans, why not just let Davis Mills play this out?
Why not? What do you have to lose?
See what you have in him, right? You're not making the playoffs, so just see what you have in the kid. Let him have the rest of the year now that he seems kind of settled in. Of course, Laramie Tunsil just went down too, so he's going to try to play through it, but it's thumb surgery that he needs. He's not going to get it. They're going to wrap it up. So he's going to have the club every single week. That could get difficult.
Not good.
Fast. So, but yeah, I mean, a big step in the right direction for their offense. Damian Harris looks like he's going to be good to go after having to go to the hospital after coughing up some blood. Are you
Mark Andrews again? My God,
you want to flip back to your game? But I mean, Hunter Henry doing pretty well here as well. So I like that for the Patriots. Mac Jones looks like he's okay. Yeah, it's just hit a homer for the Giant fan.
That's Longo Dongo, baby. That's
Longo. Oh, it was Longo. That's right. Okay, I thought it was Yes. My bad. But yeah. So Stevenson might have a role here though. 11 carries this week, getting more involved. That's something to watch for sure.
Yeah, because Harris had the ribs injury, plus he fumbled, and we never saw him come back. They're saying it's because of the ribs. We'll see. But you were a big Stevenson guy going into the preseason. He looked awesome in the preseason. So he's definitely a guy I think they want to get some more use out of. I'll say that much. So this could be a little opening there. We'll see. I got a question for you, Bogman. I drafted Damian Harris later in drafts as a running back 2 or 3. Is he droppable? I know running back so bad right now, but in a PPR format, he's not doing anything for you.
I don't think he's droppable quite
it's tough
yet.
To start, though.
But yeah, well, this is the problem, though. This is when everyone was hyping up Damian Harris. I said, well, look, it's not that I don't like Damian Harris. I do like him. I don't like what the Patriots do with running backs. Yeah, they do this every single year. It has been the same with Belichick and Josh McDaniels forever. I think a couple of years, like LeGarrette Blount got the whole run. Corey Dillon got the whole run. But I mean, how long ago was I almost cussed? How long ago was Corey Dillon? A
long time ago.
12 years ago. I mean, it's a long time ago, dude. So I'm sure there's some other examples of them going with one back, but it's not very often, and it hasn't been in the last 5-6 years. So outside of Blount. So I just Damian Harris is not a dominant force that should get all the carries in Belichick's mind. They don't have that guy, and they never will unless they sign him, and they won't do that. They won't spend money like that.
Speaking of LeGarrette Blount, Buccaneers 45, Dolphins 17. Buccaneers did what I thought they'd do. Beat down Tom Brady over 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. AB went off. Mike Evans went off. Blount got going towards the end. We even saw a Gio Bernard sighting. It was, it started out slow, and I was really excited at first. I've been preaching, let the Dolphins throw the football, and they did out the gate. Then it kind of slowed down again, and the Buccaneers just put the foot on the throat and finished things off. It was pure dominations, and Tom Brady is running away with the QB1 right now, Boggs.
Yeah, and the MVP, I think, but he's still not the favorite. I mean, You want to go take a look at some sports books there. I believe DraftKings had him at 8-1.
That's pretty good value after week 5.
Right. 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. By the way, this was his first ever 400-yard, 5-touchdown game as a 44-year-old, which was fairly surprising.
I want whatever avocado ice cream he has.
The big thing for me is just seeing the dominance of Leonard Fournette in this rushing game again, 2 weeks in a row. And I think it was like 50 snaps to 16 for Bernard and 17 for Ronald Jones. Like, those guys are just so far behind him. He lost another vulture touchdown to Gio, but he's their guy. So which is rare. Bruce Arians doesn't usually do that. For the Dolphins, I did like the reemergence, I guess we could say, of Myles Gaskin here. The 10 catches, if you're in PPR, was huge, and the 2 scores is great, but he just needs to be their guy. I don't see why they keep going to Ahmed and Malcolm Brown.
Yeah. It makes no sense. Like, Gaskins was so good to finish last year. He should be the guy to go to. Don't expect 10 catches every week to everybody. But there was no Parker this past week. We saw Preston Williams make another appearance out of nowhere. But Parker should be back this week, hopefully. Will Fuller's done for a while, though, so maybe we'll see some more Gaskin. Tua should be back this week as well when they head to London. So we'll see if it's a dump-off central to Gaskin again or not. But it's good to see him get the usage. I'm 100% on board with you on that one.
Yeah.
Packers at the Bengals. Bogman, I don't know if you or I were kicking in the overtime, but it didn't matter. Packers win 25-22. There was 4 missed field goals in overtime before the Packers finally won it. It was a bad game, but the fantasy value wasn't bad. Jamar Chase went nuts. Devontae Adams went nuts. Burrow and Rodgers were okay. Robert Tonyan cut I don't know what happened
Yeah.
there. I have no clue what went wrong there, because even going into the season, early in the season, Rodgers kept talking him up like he loves Big Bob and everything. Well, he doesn't like throwing to him. So we got that much established. Really weird there, but Adams and Chase, big days.
Yeah, I mean, Chase is just the clear one for Cincinnati. And I am surprised at how quickly this has happened for him. So, I mean, Higgins going down obviously helped that, but him just stepping in as a rookie after not playing last year because of COVID and becoming the one already in week 5, it's just, a touch surprising, I would say. It's difficult to know what to do with Mixon. I'm hoping that he's going to be back at this point for next week, but and Samaje Perine is on the COVID list, so we're going to have to see if he plays at all next week. So that's kind of something to monitor for the Packers. I mean, I'm not concerned about Aaron Jones ever, but they do seem to really like going to AJ Dillon, and he is getting the ball more. I thought this was going to be a AJ Dillon game, and I kind of liked his props because I thought they were going to be up big. That's not how the game went at all, but they still got him involved. And like you said, Devontae Adams going off. There's no second option outside of, it's just Rodgers and Jones and Adams, and everyone else you're rolling the dice on if you throw out there.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you there. And it looks like with Higgins back, Boyd kind of got the shaft a bit on that one, but if you look deeper, he still got like 6 targets or something. So wasn't the end of the world, but not going to have those monster games anymore. Broncos, Steelers, your boys, 27-19. We saw a big touchdown early for Deontay and then kind of disappeared. Chase Claypool got his. Juju probably out for the season. The running game is on point. Thoughts on this game?
Well, here's my first thought is that Ben Roethlisberger got hit twice. Sacked once, hit only 2 times. Wow. Dude is wearing more armor than RoboCop out there because he's been getting hit so much. It's unbelievable. So that, I think, was easily the most impressive thing in this game to me. I was, going into this game, I just didn't see how they were going to get it done at all. I didn't see because they can't keep Ben upright. But the line really gelled this week. Juju going down is going to play a big benefit towards Claypool, I think, more than anyone. Deontay's already kind of a PPR guy, even though he did disappear in this one. They kind of bracketed him. So the Broncos weren't going to let him beat them, and they didn't. But Najee going off for 100, and I know he left early, but it was just cramps. He's going to be fine. And yeah, Juju is done for the year with that shoulder injury. And that's probably his last snap as a Pittsburgh Steeler, and he did it trying to get extra yards, grinding out too. So I know I'm a person that's going to always appreciate Juju, especially for laying out Vontaze perfect. But on the Broncos side, I mean, I feel like they just got to go to Javonte Williams. The running game didn't do much.
Would be nice.
But he did have a 49-yard burst. There was a point where he had 5 rushes for 49 yards with a 49-yard long, so those first 4 he got nothing on. But yeah, I think they got to go to him because Melvin Gordon just ain't getting it done. But in the passing game, a little worried about Noah Fant, just kind of a disappearing act for him in this game. But it was Cortland Sutton is just a stud. Remember, he was questionable to play and had 7 catches for 120 yards and a touchdown after rolling his ankle, I think, on Thursday in practice. And then Tim Patrick had a big day as well. So those are 2 guys you got to look forward to, because I think this is going to be more of the game script for Denver moving forward. They played some easy games early, and that was great. But I think this is more the script, and this is going to put Teddy in some bad scenarios where he's going to get rocked, and we might see more Drew Lock. I don't like it.
Yeah, we're seeing a few of these teams that had those easy schedules start to realize they're not maybe what we thought they were. So here's another one for you. Panthers, maybe. Eagles at Panthers. Eagles win 21-18. Jalen Hurts, again, 20-plus fantasy points. The only quarterback to do that every single week so far this season in a 4-point passing touchdown league. Let me clarify that. So they won 21-18. Still nothing I really fell in love with anywhere in this game. It was no one really jumping off the page to me. It was more disappointing for fantasy than anything in my books.
I mean, Tommy Tremble scored.
But
the
funny thing is, I thought of you immediately when I saw that.
You and Joe, our boy Joe Pizzapia, also hit me on the Fantasy Pro show, and he's like, "Your boy Tommy Tremble scored." I made him draft him for us in our football diehards league. But yeah, Chuba had a nice game, but you got to remember, not only were the Panthers probably just a touch overrated, right? But they were also without their best player, without Christian McCaffrey. I mean, they played the Texans last week, so let's put it all in perspective. And they were up in this game, but they just let Philly come back, so it was more the defense relying on them. Blankenship just whiffed that, unbelievable. Overtime in Baltimore, but Philly. Jalen Hurts 198 yards is great. I still don't like what they're doing with the running backs at all. Sure, they gave the ball to Miles Sanders a little bit more, but he couldn't do anything. 5 catches for 6 yards. That's just a pathetic effort. Gainwell did nothing. If Miles Sanders ain't going to get the yards, go to Gainwell.
Yeah, I agree.
Just do something better there. But the Slim Reaper, Devontae Smith had a decent game, but Goddard has been unbelievably disappointing too. So it's been, this is why for me, when you're going into drafts in the preseason, you either take those high tight ends or you just wait until the end. You don't mess around with the middle because that middle churns every single year. That's why you have the top 3 guys in, our boy Mark Andrews, Darren Waller, and Travis Kelce. And Kittle's. I don't even think you can put Kittle in there anymore. You look mediocre.
Kittle's not even an automatic. He's not. Yeah, he wasn't even an automatic start towards the end. It was so bad. And then Trey Lance. Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, it's
ugly.
Yeah, Kittle was falling off.
It's ugly. Yeah. So I mean, Robbie Anderson too on the Panthers side. Robbie Anderson 7 targets, 2 catches. So that ship seems to have maybe sailed. And it's not like Terrace Marshall's doing great either. No, it's just he's doing bad.
Yeah, at least Robbie's getting the targets. I'll take that a little solace if you have him, because bye weeks are coming up and you have to put some guys in you don't really want to put in from time to time. So at least he's getting the targets. Eventually, one of those games is going to come through. Hopefully, it's when you have him in your lineup. Titans at the Jags. Titans win 37-19. This was tight for like a quarter, and then Derrick Henry went to Pound Town on the Jags, and he just said, "Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?" The Arnold Schwarzenegger voice, though. And
who's your daddy?
Awesome. Yes, there you go. He's absolutely awesome, and he's a beast, and he's the man. That's all I can say. And then Laviska Shenault, see you.
Now, This game is unbelievably frustrating. Look,
very bad.
Derrick Henry did exactly what we said he was going to do. And we talked about, hey, look, he's super expensive. I don't care. I'm still buying him. You know what I mean? And he went off. He is just money in the bank against the Jags, and everybody knows it, and it doesn't matter. Like I said, his ownership was a little down because of the cost, but so the Jaguars seem to just take 1 step forward and 2 steps back. So your 1 step forward is they give the ball to James Robinson. They feed him.
That was huge. Yes.
18 for 149, average 8.3 yards per carry, which, come on, Titans defense. What are you doing? Like that. It's bad in Tennessee, their defense. But here's a 2 steps back. Why does Marvin Jones have 1 catch? Why does Tavon Austin have as many targets as Marvin Jones? Why is Dan Arnold and Jamal Agnew leading this team in targets? Why does Laviska Shenault have 1 catch for 58 yards? If he has 1 goddamn catch for 58 yards, why not get him the ball on a screen or a reverse or anything else? Get the ball in his hands. He makes plays. So I'm just, how Urban Meyer, that plus saying I don't micromanage who's in a goal line is absurd. If the media is offering you a criticism and it's a fair criticism, instead of admitting to it or saying something idiotic like I don't micromanage, say we're going to look into that. Yeah. That's what the smart coaches do. We're going to evaluate all forms of this game. Like there's so many coach cliches you can use there to get out of I'm a dumbass and I didn't put him in. I just don't understand. So this was
I left my playbook at the bar. I'm sorry. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, they didn't have my fingers on it.
Yeah, my fingers were. I couldn't point to that one. They had 10 days to plan for no shark, and you'd think
really 3.
True. They're preoccupied putting out fires all over the place. But you'd think they would have done that, and then in the second half, first half James Robinson's going nuts, the main dude. Second half, he was almost splitting carries in the backfield, and that was another question that Urban Meyer got. Did you know that your hot hand basically was splitting carries in the second half and basically became non-existent? No, I didn't realize that. I wish we would have paid more attention to that.
No.
Dude. Like, holy shnikes.
We need to get the Vince McMahon yar fire.
Yeah, it's a bad deal. Bad deal. Game of the week, and I was pumped about this one going into it. This was electric. Chargers win 47-42. Nothing against the Browns. I think they're still one of the top teams in football. This was a great back and forth slugfest. Herbert,
how do you like John Johnson carrying
Eckler into the end zone?
That's
the stuff we talk about halftime. Just let him score. And Eckler was dancing around like, I don't want to go in. Nope, you're going in, buddy. It's like the old guy in the locker room just picking up the little kid, just coming in. Let's go.
Throwing him in the pool, right?
Yep, it was so good. I was just like, that's smart though. Cleveland has not known smart football for a long time, Bogman. That was smart football.
Stefanski is a great coach.
That was just beautiful to see. The Browns, I know it's a loss, Browns fans, but I'd be very happy where your team's at right now.
Yeah, they're 3-2, but luckily everyone in the North except Pittsburgh lost. Well, we'll see what Baltimore's doing, but I mean the Bengals lost, so they're doing okay. And this was a tough road game. I just picked the Chargers because they're at home, and it ended up paying out. But Justin Herbert is just on another level right now. He is unbelievable, and I saw a lot of memes. I didn't send any of them to you about taking Tua when Justin Herbert is going crazy here.
Oh, trust me, I'm not. Yeah, I'm fine with it. We always pick the wrong quarterback. It started with Breeze and Culpepper. I'm used to this by now. They could add Aaron Rodgers. We could just go on the list if you want. If you want to spend the next 45 minutes talking about it.
I'm good. I'm fine. But yeah, look, Eckler was huge. Mike Williams looked, back to breakout year instead of his one catch for 16 yards or whatever he had last week. So that was great. And on the Brown side, OBJ not working out again. Like, that
was frustrating.
With 305 passing yards for Baker. He doesn't do that very often, and it just doesn't work again. So
he only had like 2 or 3 targets, I think. It was bad, like non-existent. He wasn't even the Hail Mary at the end. He wasn't even down there.
What are they doing with him? So maybe he needs to get traded. I don't know. It's not working. I'll say that.
Yeah, I was happy because he was one of my GPP plays. Like the week before was Hollywood Brown. He went off. I'm like, I'm gonna go Odell. Like the week before, he had all the targets, but nothing. Blah blah blah. He was less than 2% owned. I'm like, heck yeah, let's dance. Curtains. If you told me 42 points, I'm thinking golden. No, not good. So that's a struggle bus right there. But the flip side of that though, the running game, Chubb and Hunt both went off. That was a thing of beauty for the Browns and the Chargers.
It works every week.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Last week they scored 14 points and it worked for both of them.
Yep.
Right. So it just works every single week. And that is the thing you can depend on in the Browns offenses. Those guys are both going to be pretty solid.
Yeah. Hunt's on that GPP radar when we talk DFS this week. You got to just keep him in the back of your mind weekly right now because he's getting the big enough workload. And it was good to see Williams bounce back, like you said, in a big way. Bears win 20-9, but another just like, what the heck are the Bears doing? You want to talk micromanaging? They're micromanaging Justin Fields, like not letting him run, not letting him do anything. I think I saw stats like there were multiple players that had more rushing or receiving yards than the Bears had total yards as a team. It was a dreadful production, but in the end, they win 20-9.
Yeah, look, the Raiders obviously were a little distracted, I think, so by this John Gruden stuff and showed very lackluster effort. So hopefully the Raiders can pick it back up because they're having a pretty good year up until this point. And I know the loss to the Chargers was frustrating, but the Chargers are one of the best teams in the NFL. So you can't really beat yourself up for losing to that team. But the Bears are not. But the Bears do play really, really stingy defense. And this might be just a matchup play, moving forward. You might want to think twice about starting players against the Bears moving forward because the defense has been so good, particularly on the line. And this was going up against his old team, 7 tackles, an assist, and a sack for Khalil Mack. So like to see that stuff happen. But look, I'm not wholly and completely in on the Khalil Herbert train because 9 of his 18 carries were in the fourth. I think he had 1 carry in the first half. So this was a sit on the lead, run the ball a bunch type of a deal. I still think Damian Williams is the guy, and he did score the touchdown for them. Also, Khalil Herbert had no targets. So I do want to pick him up, but I'm not going to spend more than 10% of my fab on him. I'm not going to burn a number one waiver priority. However you guys play your free agency, I'm not going to dig deep for Khalil Herbert is what I'll say. So on the Raiders side, Carr's got to get back to being right for whatever reason. He's, ever since Joey Bosa said that he folds up like origami, he has. So hopefully that's not too in his head. But Darren Waller, another just kind of frustrating game, 8.5 points in a PPR, 4.5 in a standard, 4 for 45 for him, just not great. Kenyon Drake is a flat cut. Josh Jacobs and it's just Josh Jacobs really is all that we need here. So not a lot to take away from a 29-point total game here.
Yeah, pretty bad football. That's the best I can take away from there. And the Raiders will have a new head coach. Niners at the Cardinals, 17-10 W. Disappointing in that regards, but the Cardinals moved to 5-0. They did what it took to win. D-Hop had his game. He got it on, and that was good to see once again. But the Niners, Trey Lance, some good with a lot of bad in my opinion. Debo found the end zone, but it wasn't ideal. It was not a great game from a build-up confidence, and now he's got a sprained knee and might miss a few weeks. So who knows what's going on there for the Niners, but it does not look good to me.
Yeah, it's one look and run for Trey Lance. He doesn't have much else. So, and it's not necessarily his fault. This is what he did in college and it worked, but the NFL is a completely different animal. So if the team takes away the first look, you can't immediately go to run because they're just going to spy you every time. And that's exactly what happened. So he did have a decent rushing day with 89 yards. He's definitely shifty. And as long as only 15, so he's ripping off big chunks there. But he was ripping off big chunks because you're setting up on 3rd and 10 and 2nd and 9 instead of, 3rd and 3, 2nd and 5, stuff like that. So just ugly. And there's a Baltimore win. Just disgusting. Anyway, Eli Mitchell getting all the carries over Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon saw 2 snaps in this game. I love that because I'm an Eli Mitchell guy. Debo continues to be productive even when the offense is garbage. On the Arizona side, really Rondale Moore and them designing plays specifically for Rondale Moore is what makes him a potential waiver wire ad or a cheaper DFS play. Still low on snaps, but when he comes into the ball game, the ball is heading towards him. So we like that.
Yeah, no, it was there. I still don't know if I can trust it yet because we've been here before and then it just disappears for a few games. But I guess they got him for a reason. You got to hope they're going to use him. I think this was just a weird game because they really didn't need to push the envelope much because they knew that Lance wasn't going to kill them. So I think they just kind of tempered expectations, take the W, move on to next week type thing. Let's not get hurt this week is what it felt like to me. Giants, Cowboys. Talk about getting hurt. This was a game, folks. Dak did his thing. Zeke looked awesome. Pollard even got his on. You saw Lamb get some. You saw everybody get some for the Cowboys. The defense looked good. Obviously, 44 points. Flip side, you lost Daniel Jones to a concussion. He got lit up. You lost Saquon Barkley to an ankle sprain. They said today it didn't look as bad as it could have been. Still don't look good. Galladay re-injured his knee. James, you have Tony hitting people and headbutting people and getting ejected. It's a mess.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Judge's crew is rough right now, and then Jabril Cox bragging about knocking out Daniel Jones, just not a good look. It's going to be Booker until Saquon comes back, which could be 2 weeks, could be a month. So it is a low ankle sprain, which isn't something that's going to nag him like a high ankle sprain did Michael Thomas all year last year, but it's not fantastic. Tony had a huge week and probably needs to be picked up. I think that they said he's not going to get suspended, but he is probably going to miss this week with an ankle injury. But I think when he comes back, he's got to start over Slayton. I think he's better. He torched Diggs. And I know Diggs is having a great year and everything, but he's also leading the league in yards given up. So he plays the ball well, but he gets so many opportunities because he sucks. So, it's kind of a double-edged sword there. No one else popping off for this team. I mean, we keep waiting for Evan Ingram to come around. 4 for 55. Is that coming around? Not really. On the Dallas side, Prescott is amazing. Zeke has been pounding the ball ever since week 1. Pollard got 75 yards in there. CeeDee Lamb scored a touchdown. So just everything that you were possibly worried about with the Cowboys, they have shut you up. So, we're good. Everyone that was hitting the panic button on anyone for Dallas not named Blake Jarwin, you're fine. Everyone's looking good.
Yeah, they're going to be just fine. They're going to have a couple hiccups. It's a long football season, but I think when it comes down to it, they're one of the better teams in the NFC, folks. So just buckle up and enjoy it. They're going to be very, very good. Bills at the Chiefs, Sunday Night Football. And Bogman, you picked the Bills. The Bills went into Arrowhead, and this could be a who's your daddy moment too. They beat down the Chiefs. They looked great. They looked like the Chiefs out there. They were, Allen was running around, looked like playground football to Dawson Knox. Their defense was ferocious. It looked awesome. They were kicking butt. Kelsey leaves with a stinger, something to keep an eye on. But Bills win 38-20 in Arrowhead. Big, big W.
Yeah, and the old saying, "You're only as strong as your weakest link." Daniel Sorensen is the weakest link in Kansas City.
Okay,
dude,
sorry.
The homie was getting torched.
Let me interrupt you real quick. So the meme with the different colors of toast? Like, how do you like your toast?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it started out with basically white toast to the burnt toast. On the burnt one, it said 49 Sorensen.
He just got torched. Dawson Knox caught one over him. Sanders caught two over him. Diggs had his 61-yarder over him. And you just saw Tyrann Mathieu throw his arms up. Like, what are we supposed to do? So they need to, maybe Juan Thornhill needs to get some more snaps. I don't know. But and he's a vet, Sorensen is. But Father Time might be catching up to him. Josh Allen looked absolutely unstoppable. 315 yards and 3 touchdowns, plus led them in rushing with 59 and a score. CEH going down obviously is going to be rough. Terrell Williams is going to be your number one pickup off of waivers this week. Love to see Mecole Hardman get 12 targets and 9 catches. Good. That was really, really nice. Don't pick up Josh Gordon, guys. He had 9 snaps. Why is he over 30% rostered? I don't understand this. So just ignore him until he gets real playing time. The Chiefs are they're on the wrong side of it, and the defense looks bad. They didn't have Chris Jones in this game. They didn't have Frank Clark in this game. So
and CEH left with a big injury too.
Yeah, and by the way, how great does Greg Rousseau look? That dude looks like a rookie of the year candidate for sure. He got a sack, had that pick against Mahomes too. There's some huge plays from Greg Rousseau. Another guy that didn't play last year, opted out.
I tweeted out on Sunday night. I said, "How did this team lose the Steelers?" I guess week one, you're not locked in yet because these guys have just looked so good.
That entire defense was. The Steelers got a block punt.
It was kind of those fluky week one type games. I get
absolutely.
It. Like
if they played right now, the Bills would win by 30. It wouldn't be close.
They're a well-oiled machine right now. Like literally, the Bills and the Browns might be the 1 and 2 seeds at the moment. It's gonna get interesting. Gonna be interesting. What else is interesting?
Like
Monday Night Football. Yeah, I know you'll be so happy about that. Monday Night Football in the books. Ravens come back and beat the Colts 31-25. This is all Bogman's fault because he said when it was 22-6 or whatever, this game's over. The Colts are winning it. We can start recording early. And the Ravens come back and win in overtime. Mark Andrews went bananas. Lamar got the job done. Hollywood had a day. Wentz looked good. Jonathan Taylor looked good. Pittman looked good. It turned out to be good fantasy numbers in the end, but not the result you were looking for, Bogman.
No, this felt a lot like the Red River Shootout, man. Like the Colts got up big.
PTSD over here.
Yeah, 402 yards passing for Wentz and 2 touchdowns. Like, how do the Ravens keep scraping these games out? Barely beating the Lions, barely beating the Colts at home on Monday night is just surprising. But yeah, the Colts offense, like you said, did look good. They weirdly went to Mack again, but all the rushing was working. He had 5 carries for 47 yards and 9.4 clip for Marlon Mack. Trade him already. Nyheim Hines got involved, didn't have a catch, but looked pretty solid running the ball, which was great. And just, Lamar throwing for 442 yards. Remember when people said Lamar can't pass? 37 for 43. He had 6 incompletions on 43 passes, 4 touchdowns, no picks, got sacked twice, also led the team in rushing, 14 for 62. Mark Andrews, like you said, with the enormous day, 2 touchdowns. Hollywood Brown, 2 touchdowns. Hollywood Brown, is this a complete redemption from the Detroit game?
He's been great because I kind of been saying it on the DFS shows. That's why 2 weeks ago, he was like my sneaky guy because everyone was mad about the Detroit game. He's like 6% owned. He went nuts. regardless of his performance, week in and week out, even last year, he still gets like 5 to 7 targets. He's throwing the deep ball. The guy can take the top off of defense, and now he's doing it in the short passing game also. He's starting to come, like him and Lamar are getting this little relationship going here.
Yeah,
I think a big season's coming his way.
Yeah, man. It is. He just torches guys. He just breaks their ankles.
You remember who his uncle is, guys? Like he gets taught by the best.
Yeah, AB. So
yeah.
cousin,
like, come on.
But yeah, I mean, it's this was a fun game to watch for sure. I hate the result, specifically because Hollywood Brown went crazy at the end and also lost us a game in flex. So not happy about that. But yeah, man, this is I guess maybe what we expect from the Ravens. If their defense is going to be this bad, they're going to have to play comeback and put up a bunch of points, and that's what we're seeing out of Andrews. But this is another team a lot like the Packers, right? You can start Devontae, you can start Aaron Rodgers, and you can start Aaron Jones. For the Ravens, you can start Lamar, you can start Mark Andrews, you can start Marquise Brown. There's not a lot else that is going to be, on a week-to-week basis you can count on here.
Which is great for us fantasy people. Keep it simple. Let's go. Like, I love it that way.
Yeah.
Let's talk some waiver wires before we head on out of here after that 15-game breakdown for you. With bye week starting up here in week 6, we're going to need to get a little crazy out here. So looking at the quarterback position, there's not a lot to love when it comes to streaming Bogman, but, Sam Darnold's still only 59% owned. You got Kirk Cousins, he's 77. It's high, but man, I'd be sniping him up anywhere I could. Joe Burrow still only 80. I know these are high ownerships, but these guys need to be owned a lot more, in my opinion.
Benjamin Roethlisberger against the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday Night Football is a good matchup. It's a good matchup because Seattle secondary sucks. So think about him moving forward. So I'll throw him in there. And I like Mac Jones this week too. New England plays Dallas. They should be down. He should be throwing the ball a lot.
Yep, don't mind that at all. Running back position, you got Alex Collins at 37% going in there, maybe with no Chris Carson again. I believe they said they should be getting Rashad Penny back potentially, which could be interesting as well.
For how many plays?
I'm just saying that could be interesting. Samaje Perine's only 27%. We saw him get his last week, even though Mixon started. We'll see. Khalil Herbert's 19%, as you mentioned him earlier. Darrell Williams is the one I'm looking at 18% for the Chiefs. If CEH is out, that could be interesting. There's a lot of guys out here, Bogman. Who else are you looking at?
Yeah, Darrell Williams is the number one with CEH out like a minimum of 3 weeks here. They're probably going to stick him on the IR. I don't see why they wouldn't. Booker is the second with Saquon missing probably at least 2 weeks, maybe more than that. Then after that, Kadarius. We'll talk about Kadarius Toney, but I think take a shot at McKinnon and Herbert as well. You mentioned Samaje's out there. McKissick is still under, 50% rostered. He didn't do much today, but we know he can go off at any point. So those are the guys I like. All
right. You kind of hinted at the wide receiver position. As long as Fields is quarterback, Darnell Mooney is in play in deeper leagues. If you need to, he's 45%. You even mentioned McCole Hardman. He's only 43%. He's going to have some big weeks because they're going to keep throwing him the football. I believe that.
This defense is that bad. They're going to have to throw.
Yep.
So
you got Jamison Crowder there at 38%. But I'll give you the floor for your boy, who's very widely available still, at least for the next 24 hours.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney, man. I mean, when I watched the film on Toney out of Florida, outside of the speed, which is just game breaking, like the dude can bust it open at any point. It was the motor for me that it was
high
most
motor.
Impressive.
You say, huh?
Super, super high motor, like just a guy that doesn't quit on any play, gives his all when he's blocking, even though he's not the best blocker, but he will throw his body into it. The dude just loves to play. So definitely in there. Hunter Renfrow, also a guy you can add. I like Tim Patrick under 50% rostered. Darnell Mooney, I think it's going to get better with Fields. He's still 45%. And, like I said before, throw a buck on Chris Conley and just see if this, Davis Mills working with the second team, worked with Chris Conley a lot in the preseason. Maybe this is a connection they like. Bill Belichick likes to take your best option away. He took Cooks away, so they made it work with Conley and Chris Moore. So both those guys, I think, maybe throw a buck on one and snap one up.
Last one I want to mention, this is for you, Bogman. Amon-Ra St. Brown looks like he's getting some love. That's your boy. I had to throw him out there. 3% rostered right now, especially with Cephas going down. He got a lot of love last week.
And Hawkinson looking terrible.
Yep, the last couple of weeks he's been getting a lot of love, actually. So I think it's starting to shift in your direction.
It is. And I was so excited about him, but this is a guy that I have dropped on so many teams, and I'm now going to have to go spend fab money to pick back up. So that's a little annoying, but look, we'll take it when it comes. So we like Amon-Ra St. Brown for sure.
For sure. Let's go to the tight end position, which is just so much fun these days. You got Hooper had a touchdown. You got Ertz outplaying Goddard. Gerald Everett's back from the COVID IL or whatever you want to call it. But I guess the main ones you can look at, Dan Arnold is the dude in Jacksonville.
8 targets, and this is in such a short time, so I think his role can only expand. So I'm definitely in on Dan Arnold
and Ricky Seals-Jones still, as long as Logan Thomas is out. And the one I'd say keep an eye on, I don't know if it's gonna be an every week thing, but Donald Parham for the Chargers was getting ton of targets this last week, especially in the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's 6'8", like he's gigantic. So he's a huge red zone target. And also it makes Jared Cook less valuable because he's not getting those red zone looks. But David Njoku went ham. He's not going to do that every week. I mean, the number one directive for the Browns is run the ball, not pass the ball. So I don't expect this to be something that's happening on a constant basis. But he did look good. But I think, like you said, Dan Arnold, my number one tight end pickup this week.
For sure. But that'll wrap us up, folks. Make sure if you get a rate and review on iTunes for the Pre-Snap podcast, we would truly appreciate it. Also, check out the Pre-Snap show on the LineStar YouTube channel if you want to watch it instead of just you might want to watch it, see what Bogman's new look is this week. You're going to want to check this out.
People think I had a nervous breakdown after the Red River shootout, but my beard was itchy. It had to go.
Yeah. It's okay. It's fun. But check that out next week. Bye weeks. We have more London. So we'll be back with you guys on Thursday with our picks and bets for week 6 and then some DFS main slate on Friday. But until then, LineStar's on Twitter at LineStar App and at LineStar NFL. Check out Bogman at Bogman Sports. I'm at Pediatric. We'll catch you guys later.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to Pre-Snap Podcast, presented by LineStar App. Please like, comment, subscribe, and rate for good karma in your fantasy football